Contestant number 4, Steve Hinsley. Miracle of Margaret. Miracle of Margaret. Steve Hinsley. My name is Steve Hinsley. I'm married to Sarah Hinsley, and together we have 5 children. And if you think that's crazy, I'm here to tell you they're all girls. Fellow toastmasters, honored guests, dignitaries, Mr. Contest Chair. I'm going to tell you the story of the birth of my second daughter, Margaret, but to tell it true, we really must start with the birth of my first daughter, Esther. You see, when Tina went to labor the very first time, we made the common yet rookie mistake of showing up at the hospital entirely too early. So early, as a matter of fact, after the doctor gently scolded us, he sent us home to wait it out and do it right. So we timed our contractions, we did our breathing exercises, we did our relaxation exercises, and after what seemed like an eternity, we headed back to the hospital, 45-minute drive through the country. Why? Our hospital is a 45-minute drive through the country. It's a completely different story, and that story is not funny. When we arrived, much to my chagrin, we were still too early. Luckily, though, close enough he allowed us to stay. Long story short, before long, we went into labor, 41 hours of the most painful back labor you've ever seen. And I'm going to tell you, it was the most excruciating 41 hours of my life. If I remember correctly, it was tough on Tina, too. But Esther was born, we loved her, we kept her, still have her today. 2 years later, Tina goes into labor again, January 12th, 1993. We're going to do it right this time. No panicking. We're going to do our breathing exercises. We're going to time our contractions. We're going to relax. Then 2 things happened I wasn't prepared for. First, it started to snow. And I mean blizzard conditions. Second, her contractions started to come extremely fast, and I mean blizzard conditions. You have to understand, at this point I'm saying to myself, is it really that fast, or is it just like last time and I'm just panicking? What do I do? Remain calm. Then it really started to snow so much that I know there's no way we're going to make that 45-minute drive through the country. So I call my sister-in-law, she calls her doctor, we make arrangements to meet at a hospital here in town, 15 minutes away, but at least it's in town. Now Tina's telling me, Steve, I'm going to have this baby. Now we're starting to panic a little bit and we know what to do. So we go to get her in the car, and I don't know if you've ever seen an extremely pregnant woman hurry, but it looks a little bit like Charlie Chaplin. But this is no silent movie. I get her in the back seat so that she can really enjoy the ride. Grab her in the back of the front seat, the back of the back seat, and I get in to take off. Now, quick side note. In our family, I have 3 jobs. I mow the lawn because the lawn's not going to mow itself. I watch the television because the television's not going to watch itself. And I do the worrying. And it was the worrying that I was doing when we pulled up to the stoplight on 52nd and Dodge. And that's when Tina asked me in a very calm voice from the back seat, Stephen, why are we stopped? Now, I don't want her to panic, so very calmly I said, well, you see, honey, it's a red light. And that exact moment, I heard what I can only describe as the voice of Satan coming from the back seat. I'm going to ask you one more time. Why are we stopped? I realized immediately that both Tina and Satan were correct. Why was I stopped? This is one of those rare opportunities that every man waits for. Half the reason many would want to have a child is the off chance that a wife's in the backseat going into labor, because we all know what that means. That's Santa Claus! So I stomped on the gas and I took off, and there's no flying everywhere, and I'm fish scaling onto a Dukes of Hazzard right in the middle of Omaha. Yee-haw! And she gets in the backseat, I'm in the front seat. We get to the hospital, and that was the most fun I've ever had. I'm here, baby. Okay, so I went into the emergency room, I burst upon the scene, and I said, my wife's having a baby. Now, I realize the nurses have seen this a million times. That's not new to them. But to me, they were unusually calm as the head nurse looked up over her glass and said, name of mother? I'm proud to say that through the hysteria and through the panic, I was still able to answer this question. So I know she's about to have a baby because she told me she's going to have a baby. And even though she's been conjuring the voice of Satan, she's no liar. She tells the nurses, I'm about to have a baby. And the nurse, still unusually calm, says, honey, you're not going to have this baby at the desk. And she was right about that. But we're in a hurry, so we get on the elevator and we push forward. And then Tina does something I wasn't expecting. She starts to push off her jeans, and I was actually a little about Tina. And she said, well, I'm going to have this baby. And the nurse, actually unusually calm, tries to coax her jeans back up and says, honey, you're not going to have a baby in the elevator. And she was right about that. But then Satan showed up to help again and said, I'm going to have this baby. We get to the fourth floor, and I'm on my way out, and I come around the corner. And then it happened. My wife, who's never been good at athletics, leaned over on our child. It was the greatest catch I'd ever seen. And the nurses break out! They only stopped long enough to give us that dirty look that says, how dare you come to our hospital, and how dare you have a baby in the hallway. But we didn't hear it. All of that noise was pushed out into the peripheral. Because here in her mother's loving arms was our child. Safe, and sound, and bloody and disgusting.